Okay, hello guys. I'm not lying when I say that I'm very excited to share this with you. I was very fascinated by the cognitive processes of how we use language because it relates to what I want to do in the future. So, we're going to talk about language production versus language comprehension. Let's get to it. So, language comprehension. This is our input. This is when our brain receives the sounds, the text, the noises, and it matches with what we already know. And we create these mental representations, or some people like think in pictures. It's a bottom-up process, and it depends on the environment because our brain has the ability to fill in gaps depending on the context. So if I say, oh, I need to get my cap and gown on April 1st, and who knows, I might run into someone. You guys are going to know, oh, I'm talking about preparing for graduation. Now, language production. This is going to be the opposite of language comprehension. This is the output. This is when we make words and sentences. We can do this either written or spoken, and we do this to express our ideas, to communicate with the other people around us. So, language production involves phonemes, which are the sounds, like I am blending many sounds to speak words to you right now. The syntax is the structure that we use to arrange those words into sentences that make sense. So we follow like a subject verb agreement. Um, our adjectives, they typically come before nouns. In other languages, it can be different. And then there's morphology, which is the semantic meaning. Like you have to make sense of everything that I'm saying. And the language production, it involves our active recall skills. It's like our memory is retrieving all of the things that we know that maybe we have heard before, and we're able to produce it into language to communicate. So how do they work together? Well, they use the same mental dictionary, the lexicon, I think is what it's called. And during production, we can comprehend our speech as I'm doing right now, like before I even say it out loud. I'm speaking and I'm like comprehending at the same time. And then if we are comprehending and listening to someone else, we can, like I said, fill in these gaps. We can predict what they're going to say next. It takes a lot of cognitive energy of our working memory to process all of this. That's why it's extremely difficult when you learn a second or new language because your first native language, it's like automatic for you. You don't have to think about these things like the syntax, the phonemes, the order you're going to say things for it to make sense. When you're learning another language, you have to think of all of the little things like, okay, what sound did I hear? How do I produce that sound with my mouth? Uh, like, where do I put the verb? Which verb tense do I use? Where does the noun and the adjective go when I say it out loud? And then, of course, there's like, will someone make sense of what I am saying? I really loved this picture. It's because it has both. So there's the language production, which is us speaking, and then we use our phonemes, our articulation, and then the auditory signal is heard. We hear it through our ears, and then we like boop, in our brain, and we're able to comprehend. And that is it. I can keep talking about this forever. Please let me know if you are fascinated by this too. And ciao, ciao.